If you want to get filter allegations online and look like a walking filter in real life, this is the makeup tutorial for you. Hello my loves, my name is Jasmine and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a makeup tutorial on how to look like a filter in real life. I'm going to show you all of my favorite techniques and some of my favorite products that I really think help to give me the blurred, filtered effect to my makeup. As someone who has gotten filter allegations very frequently, I think I'm certified to give you this tutorial. So if you want to see how I created this look and learn how to look like a filter in real life, keep on watching. Okay, we're gonna start first with priming the skin, of course. And in my opinion, filters always look extra blurred. Skin is perfect and poreless. So we're gonna use blurring primers. This is really gonna help all the makeup that we put on top to look blurred and poreless. I'm gonna start with the One Size Secure the Blur Primer. Literally watch this. The way it just blurred out my forehead, like, this is such a good primer, and I personally feel like anybody with any skin type would like this primer because it's not going to dry your skin out. I'm also going to go in with the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm Powder in Universal. This is because I have oily skin, so this is going to blur out my skin, but it's also going to help control my oils. I'm going to carve out my eyebrows. I'm going to use my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, and then I'll come back. Okay, now we're going to go into color correcting the skin. I am a huge advocate for color correcting. I'm using my e.l.f. Camo color corrector in the shade Orange. Color correcting is going to help even out your skin tone as much as possible before you apply any foundation. So I'm applying this in the areas that I have any hyperpigmentation or darkness. If you're someone that gets dark spots when you have acne, you can also apply this over your dark spots as well. I don't think I really have many dark spots right now to cover up, so I'm just gonna do under my eyes and around my mouth. I am just using a concealer brush to blend it out, and I'm using tapping motion because you don't want to spread this all over your face. Also friends, I'm so sorry if you guys hear a bunch of noises in this video. There's something going on outside, like this was the only time I got to film, and of course everybody wants to make some noise. Like, also hopefully by the time this video goes up, I would have found another color corrector from Sephora. Like I told you guys, my favorite one, the Huda Beauty one, leaks so bad that I can't even store it or keep it in my collection. So I've been using this e.l.f. one, but I like to have options for affordable and high-end products. I think I have an idea of the one that I want, but for now, I'm just going to be using this e.l.f. one. For foundation today, I'm going to be using my Natasha Denona High Glam Foundation. I love this foundation, and I love Natasha Denona. Honestly, every product that I've been trying from her, I've just really been loving. I'm using the shade RN9. If you want to look like a walking filter, then you want to make it appear as though you have perfect skin, even if you don't. And personally, that look is not going to be achieved without a foundation, or at least a skin tint, something sister, to just be a base all over the skin. Might be an unpopular opinion, but I personally do not really like no foundation makeup. I do have a no foundation makeup routine. If you guys want to see it, I can definitely make a video on it. But foundation helps your makeup last so much longer, and you don't have to use a lot. It's not something that has to look or feel heavy on the skin at all. You have complete control over how much foundation you apply. And then also foundations come in all different types of coverages and formulas. One of my favorite lightweight foundations is the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. That one has light to medium coverage and it feels like nothing on the skin. And then if you don't like foundation, if you really don't, there are also skin tints, and those will give you some amount of coverage. Most skin tints are light to medium coverage, so please don't be afraid of foundation. But like I said, I do have a no foundation routine for when I'm rushing a little bit, so if you guys would like to see that, I can definitely record that for you. Now I'm going to go in with my cream bronzer. This is the Too Faced Melting Bronzing and Sculpting Stick, and mine is in the shade Chocolate Espresso. I have to smell it every time because it smells like chocolate. You can use either cream bronzer or cream contour, or you can even use both if you like. I do have a neutral undertone, but it does lean warm, so I personally prefer to use cream bronzer. I like to apply it on my cheekbones for some definition, and of course added warm. I just love how cream bronzer looks on me. I also like to go along my jawline for some more definition here. This bronzer just melts into the skin. It is my favorite. I can't stop reaching for it because of how nicely it just melts into the skin. And then I do like to go on the perimeter of my forehead. I think the forehead is where the sun hits the most. If you have ever gotten a tan on your face, you might notice that your forehead gets the darkest, and some people just naturally have a darker forehead than the rest of their face as well, and I just think it's really pretty. I don't know if that's like a weird feature to think is pretty, but I just think it looks so nice, and I love to apply lots of bronzer to my forehead. Now we're gonna go in with a cream blush. I feel like if you want to look like a filter in real life, you need to be bold. There's a lot of aspects of the makeup that I'm going to tell you to do that with, but when it comes to the colors on your face, things like blush, eyeshadow, lips, things that will bring more color to your face, don't be shy. Do not be shy. Today we're using the Rhode Pocket Blush in the shade Sun Soak. This is a beautiful bright orange shade. I love how this looks on my brown skin and my dark skin girls. It just flatters our skin so nicely. I also love the formula of this blush. It is so creamy and blends in so easily. You could even use your fingers to blend this in if you like, because it just melts into the skin. I love products that just melt into the skin so easily. And I'm blending it towards my under eye so that when we apply our concealer, it blends into the blush seamlessly and we don't have to do too much work to get them to blend without making any harsh lines. Now we are going to go in with concealer. Y'all know I'm gonna go in with my loves, the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. We might add a third one on top of this if I feel like being extra, which I might since we're trying to look like a filter, but I'm gonna start with the shade NR15 and I'm gonna apply this to my under eye, avoiding the innermost corner because that is where we're gonna apply our brightening shade. I'm also gonna apply this to the center of my face, anywhere that I want to highlight. And now I'm gonna apply my brightening shade to my innermost corner. And I'm also going to apply it on the bridge of my nose. Before we blend out, we're going to go in with some setting spray. My favorite setting spray as of late has been the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Setting Spray. This is the liquid blurring balm. This is supposed to be the liquid version of this. Y'all, this is so good. Mine, for some reason, got so messed up when I packed it in my luggage. I don't know how that happened, but I love this product down. I've been using it so much since it came out, and it's been a while since a setting spray genuinely moved me, but this one is so good. You want to make sure you shake it well, and then I'm going to generously apply it all over my face. And now I'm just going to let it dry down. Once the setting spray is dry, then we'll blend out the concealer. Now using my concealer brush, I'm just going to blend this concealer in. The really unique thing about this setting spray is that I feel like it genuinely allows for you to use less powders because it sets your makeup that well into place. Another feature that it has is that it allows you to kind of focus on the areas you want to blur the most. So when you apply this setting spray, you can use a brush, and you can do this when you're done with your makeup too. You can use your brush to tap into the areas that you want to be the most blurred. But a trick that I do is I use it before I'm even done with my makeup, so that as I'm using my brushes to blend, it's blurring my entire face. Like, I'm sure you have seen as my makeup has progressed, my makeup is just appearing smoother and smoother. That is exactly what we want to look like a filter. So honestly, if you don't buy one product, because honestly, I really want you to focus on the technique for this type of makeup look, but if there's one product that I had to recommend that you buy to achieve this look, it's the Danessa Myricks blurring, what is it called? It's the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm Setting Spray. I don't think the Sephora sale will be over when this video goes up. I pray it's not, so that you can get it at a discounted rate, but if not, put it on your list. Now I'm blending out my under eye last so that it has the most time to settle into the skin and have the most coverage possible. And I'm blending out the deeper shade first, and I'm blending it into the blush. I also like to get the brush that I use to apply my blush and just blend along the edges. It really helps to ensure there's no harsh lines. Next, I'm going to take a second concealer brush and blend in the lighter shade, and I'm keeping it pretty contained to where we applied it in the innermost corner. I'm not going to spread this shade out too much. And then I'm going to go back in with the first brush and just tap along the edges to make sure everything is blended in really nicely. Honestly, I was going to add another concealer shade so that it's even brighter, but honestly my under eye looks really nice and bright. Now I'm going to go in with my setting powder. I like to set my under eyes one at a time when I'm actually doing my makeup. This is the Kosas Cloud Set Powder in the shade Pillowy. Clearly I like this. I need to buy another one. Probably going to buy it since the Sephora sale is still going on. I'm just going to apply it to a tapered powder brush, and then I'm going to look up into my handheld mirror and blend out any creases that may have formed. But honestly, because of the setting spray, not too many really appeared. And then I'm going to set my under eye without looking down. Sorry if y'all couldn't see for a second, but I moved my mirror now so you can see. But this Kosas setting powder is so blurring as well. It is so worth it. Okay, both of my under eyes are set into place now. I'm still going to take the powder I used to set my under eyes. I've hit pan more than I even thought on this. But I'm going to take even more of this setting powder, and I'm going to set all the areas that I applied my concealer. The reason I'm still using this brightening shade is not to make me appear lighter. Actually, we'll talk about that in a second. But I want all the areas that I applied concealer to stay bright so that we have the most dimension possible on the face. We don't want the face to look flat. We want the highlights to be highlighted and the shadows to be shadowed. I see all the time people saying that dark skin girls like bright under eyes and stuff like that because we want to appear a lighter skin tone. That was never the case. That was never ever the case. By the way, I'm going in next with my Makeup Forever HD Skin Matte Velvet Powder Foundation. That's what this is. This one also really helps to blur the skin. The reason that I personally love a bright under eye so much is because I think it is an extreme way, I don't know if extreme is the right word, but it's an extreme way of just highlighting what's already there. Obviously, brighter under eyes are more desirable than dark under eyes, not because of dark skin, but dark as to look like you're tired or you haven't slept. So when it's very bright, it makes you look very awake and very glam. I'm sure you guys get what I'm saying. If you watch my videos, you definitely like makeup. I don't think I have to explain it to you watching my video, but that's a really weird misconception that I see all the time, and that was never the case because my makeup is always gonna match, okay? It always matches. It doesn't matter if my under eye is bright or not. Thank you. Next, we're gonna go in with loose setting powder. I'm gonna go in with one that I don't think you guys have seen at all or very often on my channel at all. This is the Laura Mercier Ultra Blur Setting Powder. If you guys watch my YouTube shorts, my best friend Camille and I went into Sephora and we filmed a video on what we recommend from the Sephora sale, and this was her pick. I bought it a long time ago because of her, and somehow I lost it in my collection. My room is crazy. I have so much product, but I found it. I did find it, so I don't reuse it again. By the way, this is in the shade Translucent Honey. I think they have a peach shade now that I would be highly interested in. I might check that out during the Sephora sale. I keep thinking of things that I want. So I'm gonna go in and bake with this powder under my eyes. This is more of a yellow powder than I would typically use, so if they have a peach shade, I definitely want to tap into that. I don't mind a yellow powder, but I really don't use them as often anymore. This powder also smells so good. It's not like fragranced or anything. It still smells like powder, but I don't know, maybe just because I like makeup, I just find the smell comforting. I'm also applying this to any of the areas that I get oily, so please don't be afraid of powder, y'all. Powder is what's going to make you look filtered, okay? It's what's gonna make your skin appear smooth and flawless. Now I'm gonna go in with bronzer. Oh my gosh, I look crazy. But I'm gonna go in with my powder bronzer. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Bronzer in the shade Deep Dark. I love this one and I recommend it all the time to my dark skin girlies that are on a budget because it is available at the drugstore. Honestly, drugstore products have been getting so expensive as well. I remember I went into CVS to film a video and I saw that they were selling this bronzer for $17 there, and I think that is absurd. Like, that is so expensive for drugstore in my opinion. I think at Ulta it might be less than that. I really hope it is. This is such a beautiful bronzer and it always makes me look so warm and chocolatey, like I have a tan or something. I love it because it's not getting any warmer, especially now that it's November. I'm gonna take any of the excess powder on this puff and I'm gonna use it to carve out my cheekbones to give them a little bit more definition, and then I'm just gonna immediately blend this into the skin. We don't want this to bake for long at all. I'm also going to use this brush on every other area of my face that I applied the loose powder, except under my eyes. Since we use this to apply the powder foundation, we don't want to use this to darken the under eyes. Now I'm going to use my powder puff to press the powder into my skin. And then using the brush I used to apply my pressed powder, I'm just gonna blend and sweep away any of the excess loose powder that I wasn't able to press in. That is just so good. I had always said that I don't like Laura Mercier powder, but Camille convinced me to try this one because of how much she talks about it on her page, and I really like it. So listen to your friends. Also, didn't intend to do this without you, I'm sorry, but I did just contour my nose. I used the same L'Oreal Infallible bronzer, and I took it on an eyeshadow brush, and I went down the sides of my nose like so, all the way up to my brow bone, and then I cut across the top of my nose and the bottom, kind of emphasizing the button shape of my nose. And then I went over with my powder brush just to diffuse it a little bit so that it looks a little bit more natural. I'm gonna go in with another setting spray. This is the new Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray Matte Blur. So this is going to blur and mattify the face. Make sure you shake it first to activate. And of course, we're gonna let it dry down. This setting spray is going to melt all of our powders into the skin while still blurring and mattifying the skin, which is really nice if you have oily skin like I do, and if you want to get that blurred filter-like look. So I'm gonna let this dry and come back to you. Now we're gonna go in with powder blush. This is the Rare Beauty Matte Bouncy Blush. This one is in the shade Alive, which is their really beautiful coral orangey shade, and I'm gonna apply this to the high points of my cheekbones. I love this blush. It has the most beautiful putty to powder formula, and it has this really nice blurring effect to the skin when it goes from that putty to powder formula. It just gives that filtered look. This is another product that I would highly recommend that you actually go out and buy, because I don't really think all blushes will give you this blurred filter effect the way that this one does. There might be others, but this is my favorite that I would recommend to you. And again, we're being bold. We're not being scared. We're going in heavy. Okay, we're going in bold with our blush. You don't have to do as much as I do, but apply just a little bit more than you usually would if you normally don't apply a lot of blush. And even though I said I don't typically wear yellow powder these days, I really think it goes well with this orange blush really nicely. Now I'm going to brighten my under eyes again with my MAC Studio Fix powder. This is in the shade NW20. This is much brighter than my skin tone, so it's really going to give me exactly what I need. I only dipped into the powder about twice. You don't need too much of it. And then I like to focus it on the innermost corner of the under eye when I first apply it like this, and then I blend it in towards the blush. I try to keep it as contained as possible though. And if you need to, you can go back in with your blush brush and sweep between the under eye and the cheek very lightly so that you're not applying too much product at once, just so that everything is very blended. And that's what gives you that filter-like look. It gives you that filtered look because it doesn't look like you have so many harsh lines. Everything just looks flawlessly blended in. For funsies, I am gonna go in with my NARS Exhibit A blush. I think this might have been the exact, if not similar, blush combo I used in my last video, but that just tells you how much I love them. Okay, now we're going to get into the eyes. I just applied my Maybelline Sky High mascara. I feel like with filters, they can do either a full eyeshadow look or just like a lash, maybe some liner. Today, for me, I'm gonna do a lash. I'm not gonna do any eyeshadow personally. I know. I always tell you guys to stop leaving your eyes naked, but we're going to today. But I am gonna do a bigger lash than I would typically do. I feel like these days I've been into a half lash. So today we're gonna put on a full strip lash. These are Lily lashes in the style Miami Flare, and they're just gonna change the whole look. Okay, lashes are on, and you see how it just completely transformed the look? I feel like most makeup filters or just filters in general give you a lash, so don't be scared. Put on a lash. If you don't wear lashes, maybe add a half lash. If you can't do that, maybe a little more mascara than usual. Do something to play up your eyes. Okay, now we're gonna go into our lip combo, and we absolutely are gonna be using my double lining and double glossing method. I'm gonna start with the One Size lip liner in the shade Coin Collector. Next, I'm going to go in with my Makeup by Mario lip liner. This one is in the shade Dark Chocolate. This one is a little bit warmer and lighter than Coin Collector by a little bit. And I'm just lining the perimeter of where I applied the one side lip liner, and then I'm going to blend them together. In the center of my lips, we're going to do a lipstick. This is the Morphe Lip Filter in the shade Honey. Make sure you blend this into the lip liner really well without covering up the lip liner completely. If you need to, you can go back in with it and redefine the lip line. Sometimes I really love the look of a matte lip and I just want to leave it, but we are going to go in with gloss. I'm going to start with the MAC Lip Glass Air. This one is in the shade Quality. It's the brown shade, and we're going to go over where we applied the lip liner and of course avoiding the center. Next, I'm going to go in with the Marviano lip gloss in the shade Nude Nectar, and I'm going to apply this to the center of the lips. That is so pretty. And of course, you want to blend that in just by blotting it. And then last but not least, we're going to set one more time with the Danessa Myricks Blurring Setting Spray. Course, let it dry. And here is the completed makeup look. I don't know, y'all. I think I look like a filter. I think I do. I think I actually could do a tad more blush. Sometimes setting spray can fade your blush a little bit. I think I need a little more. But I don't know, y'all. It's a giving filter. I think it is. I think it is. Oh, how could I forget my nose highlight? I'm taking my Milani Stellar Lights palette and I'm gonna use the gold shade in the middle to highlight my nose. I feel like a lot of filters give you a little nose highlight. Yeah, that just took it there. And here is the completed makeup look. I don't know, y'all. I think it's giving filter. I think it is giving filter. I hope you learned something new if you want to get that blurred, filtered look to your makeup. And if you have any tips, let us know in the comments. Sharing is caring. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you like this makeup look as well. Please make sure to give this video a like and leave a comment below. Make sure you also subscribe to my channel and turn on the post notification bell so you don't miss another video from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!